Humm Baby.
Enjoy this great game.
Hello, everyone. I know what some of y'all might be thinking, and no, you didn't misclick. Yes, this is still the same channel. You didn't accidentally move on to a different channel. This is still Humm Baby Baseball. I know this ain't no Giants gear, but today we're going to be talking about the Astros, and today I'm going to be a host for this video. My name is Trey. I have my own channel. It'll be in the link in the description. Texas Sports TV. If you like anything about Texas sports, if you want to talk about it, it'll be in the description. I'm going to explain what exactly happened to the Astros. The Astros went from 2017 World Series champs, 2019 American League champs, to their... If this was a normal season, they would not be making the playoffs. They're only making the playoffs because the new bullshit playoff rules. Extremely infuriating playoff rules. But why is that? What happened to the Astros? Gross mismanagement. That's what happened to the Astros. Yes, I understand. There were a lot of injuries. I wanted to give Dusty Baker a chance. I know there's some people that like him. I even know there's some Astros players who aren't ready to give up on him. But I know quite a lot of Astros players. I can't speak for all Astros. I can only speak for myself. But I do know quite a lot who were done with Dusty Baker at the beginning of the season. And I know even more who were done with Dusty Baker at about the same time I was. I wanted to give him a chance. I really did. I did. I wanted to. This was a shortened season. I knew there were going to be some problems. This is there's no real spring training. Kind of like how there's no preseason for football. So first couple, there's going to be some issues you're going to have to work out. The other thing you may look at is all the injuries. The Astros, the injured list, like throughout the entire season, that's a World Series championship team throughout the whole season. That's how many players were injured, and that's all the players that were injured. You have Justin Verlander out. You had Lance McCullers Jr. that was out for a tiny bit. You had Roberto Osuna, who's been injured. Altuve's been injured. Springer's been injured. Bregman's been injured. Carlos Correa's been injured. Our entire bullpen, the entire bullpen has been injured, and the majority of them are still injured. I think we have like 2 players who aren't rookies now. But like the entire bullpen's like nothing but rookies. We have 10 rookies. 10. We have had injuries throughout the starting pitching. Everyone's been injured. The injury bug has been just all over the Astros. But if y'all want to know what really was the last straw for the majority of the fans that I've talked to, that I know, it was the trade deadline. After the trade deadline, I was looking through some of the Astros Twitter, some people. There were still some people defending Dusty Baker and everything and how they were. Here's the problem with this, though. Understanding not wanting to try to switch things up and if you have a good team going for you, okay? Yeah, you have a good team. You don't want to trade a good player away. Yeah, I understand. The problem is we have a key problem in that bullpen. We don't have a closer anymore. Roberto Osuna was our closer, and now he's gone. And we're trying out new pitchers. It's not really working. The Astros at one point had the most blown saves in the entire MLB. That was the last straw. We needed help with the bullpen. We had good, our batting, we got a lot of good batters. Starting pitchers are still pretty good. The bullpen needed work. We needed at least one pitcher, at least someone that we can reliably go to. Someone that's a reliable arm that we can go to. What happened to this team? What happened? Well, yeah, we can look at the batting lineup that people have been bringing up on Twitter over and over again about how the lineup is terrible. You have Kyle Tucker, who's the triple king, has the most home runs out of all the players. The most triples. If this was like a full 162 season, he'd probably break the triple record. First game against the Mariners this series, he was batting 6th. He's been batting towards the bottom the entire time. 7th sometimes. He's been a really reliable batter. And we put him at the bottom of the lineup? You know who we've had at the top? Batters that don't belong. We've had Abraham Toro batting second. We've had Josh Reddick batting second. Yeah, those 2 batters are not second batters. They're not second at bats. They're not number 2 batters. They just aren't. Altuve, I understand he got moved down. I understand why he got moved down. He was struggling. Okay? I understand putting him back up because he is a batter, giving us some changes. I understand that. I understand you have to put batters like Abraham Toro in there sometimes because, well, you got to give some people some rest. Even though Abraham Toro's probably played more games than he should have, batting, was batting 100. I don't know if he even got past 100. He might be at 200 now, but he was at a stretch where he was batting 100. That is not good at all. And he was playing multiple games in a row. I'm sorry, you gotta take him out at some point and play the main guy or someone else. Yeah, put him in every once in a while, but come on. And then they had Miles Straw. Miles Straw. He's a below average batter. Not terrible, but he's below average, and you put him as the leadoff. He's gonna have the most at bats that game, and he's no, terrible choice. Of course we lost. But you know what the real problem has been? Dusty Baker is worse than AJ Hinch. Like I said, there's a reason why the Astros have the most blown saves. Even if we didn't trade for a closer, we would still have more wins. Why is that? Because while AJ Hinch's problem is he kind of relied on the hot hand a little bit too often, he overworked Will Harris, and Will Harris, that cost us Game 7 in the World Series. Overworking the same pitcher over and over again cost the Dodgers 2017 World Series. It happens. But I'd rather have that because that got us to the World Series. That had good pitching. Where you ride the hot hand because the hot hand is going to stay hot for a while, and then when it gets cold, you find another hot hand. I'd rather have that kind of thing going than just going, okay, who pitched last night? Okay, you're not going to pitch for the next 3 games. You go pitch. There's the series against the Los Angeles Angels where we had the doubleheader that we were swept, and we were swept completely by the Angels. It perfectly displays everything because that's inexcusable. The Angels are not a good team. They have terrible pitching. Their pitching is not very good. It really isn't. They give up more runs than the Astros do. They score less runs than the Astros do. We should have won at least one of those games. We're a much better team, but we got swept. And when it came to a doubleheader, we got swept. And we had multiple double run leads. Not double run. Multiple multi-run leads in that series. And we lost them all. We had Ryan Presley, who was practically our most reliable pitcher at this point. He barely played any games. Here's what he does. What Dusty Baker does that's terrible and worse than what AJ Hinch did when it came to relief pitchers. He'll get Ryan Presley, he'll put him in a game, and he'll keep him in there longer than he should be, and then he'll not play him long. He'll just wait, just not play him. That's what he does with the relief pitchers. They rest too long, and then he puts them in, and they stay in there for too long, so they give up runs. He puts them in there until they give up a bunch of runs, and he doesn't play them for a while. No, you gotta get them out a bit sooner. You can't keep them in there forever. We played 3 games against the Los Angeles Angels. We used the 3 best relievers one time each. 3 games, 3 best relievers we had once each. Again, clearly there's a problem there. So we throw them and rely too much on the not strong pitchers. And we rest pitchers for longer than they should. And then when we do put them in there, we leave them in there longer than they should. All of that's just going to lead to disaster and why we're one of the worst teams when it comes to giving up runs. It's not just injuries at that point. It really isn't just injuries. That's complete and utter gross mismanagement. And it's just mind-boggling. We're going to go into the playoffs and we're just going to get our butts kicked and we're going to be kicked out and everyone's going to be laughing at us. And it really pisses me off. Why? Because we have a lot of talent. We have a lot of talent. We're still one of the best batting lineups, even with all of the problems. That shows how much talent is on the Astros. We have talented pitchers. They're just not being utilized right. But the real reason why this really makes me angry, probably makes a lot of Astros players angry, is because of what this World Series means. I've made a video about what the 2017 World Series meant for a lot of people, what it meant for me. But the 2020 World Series, even if it had an asterisk on it because of COVID, it would have been very important. We had to at least fight for it. We had to at least be a contender. Why? Because it's personal at this point because of all of the stuff the Astros went through at the offseason. Astros, not just the Astros, the Astros fans, what we went through there at the offseason. The players went through a lot. The fans went through a lot. We got Dusty Baker. He led 5 different teams to division titles. He led one team to World Series. We're looking at it going, ooh, this could be our shot. We still got a lot of talent. Then everyone gets injured, and we're thinking we're still doing pretty good. And then Dusty Baker makes some of the most boneheaded decisions. And it's just, I'm done with Dusty. I kind of want him to get fired in the offseason. We get a new manager. But I doubt that's going to happen. Yes, Astros fans don't want them in the playoffs this year because we know we're going to get kicked out. It's going to be extremely painful because of how personal this playoff is for us, of how personal this year is for us. I've had a few Astros players, and even I sometimes it feels like we were sabotaged by Dusty Baker. Sabotaged. And it's just frustrating and extremely frustrating. We are just, if y'all like Dusty Baker, y'all like Dusty Baker. Astro fans are just, most of us, no longer a fan of Dusty. We're done. We want to move on. We miss AJ Hinch. Yes, he had his problems, but he was at least competent. He knew how to coach this team. He knew how to get to the World Series and win it. He knew how to get there twice in 3 years. He knew how to lead the team 3 years in a row with over 100 wins. It's painful as a Nationals fan right now. Extremely painful. Like I said, I can't speak for every Astro fan. I can speak for myself, and if you agree with me, you agree with me. If you disagree, you can write in the comments below. If you're a Giants fan, if you have a different point of view, you can write in below. This is me as an Astro. What happened with the Astros this year? Injuries and gross mismanagement. They've underperformed terribly, and they've dealt with a bunch of injuries. And our chances in the playoffs, 0%. We're going to get our butts kicked out right now, and it's going to be extremely painful to watch. From 2019 World Series appearances, 2017 World Series champs, to the disgrace of the MLB. And while the rest of the MLB are looking at it and looking at some bad or struggling, and so this proves that the Astros were a bad team and they didn't win the World Series legitimately. This was proved here to prove it all wrong, and now we can't, because after 2020, it's definitely not going to be the same team. It's already a different team, but it's definitely not going to be the same team as the 2017 team. Despite the fact that we're still the lowest in strikeout rates, despite the fact that we're still one of the top scoring, they're going to look at the fact that we didn't win division, that we were barely at 500, and they're going to look at the fact that we were a one and done in the playoffs. Well, there's no redemption at that point. This is supposed to be our redemption, and there is no redemption. Yeah, we're done. That's how we feel about Dusty Baker. That's our chances in the playoffs. And that's everything. This is already way too long. I already rambled on long enough. But hello, Humm Baby. It's probably a little bit more personal than y'all were expecting. But yeah, that's how Astros fans can tend to get. That's how I get. And that's how I honestly feel. And that's how Astros fans I've talked to feel. Some of them. There's still a couple that I know that are still giving them a chance. And I guess I'll see y'all next time whenever I pop in a live stream. Well, as a commenter. Or if I make another video.